And as we mentioned, almost every continent on the planet has some sort of ongoing territorial dispute. I asked Davis Robinson, who represented the United States in several disputes at The Hague, if the resolution process could be improved.
Well, there are major differences in a number of the disputes all over the world. Some are land disputes, others are maritime sovereignty disputes over islands and rocks, others are maritime boundary limitation controversies, and the law is not the same for those three areas.
I want to ask you about one in particular. You know, we've been talking about Monday's ruling on the Peru-Chile dispute, and we know rulings by The Hague are supposed to be final and binding, and both Peru and Chile have said that they will abide by it. But we've seen cases, Colombia, for example, where countries say that they won't follow the rulings.
Well, there are enormous political pressures domestically. Often what happens, and I think in the Peru-Chile award, it appears to be what I would call a split the difference sort of a judgment. In these international cases, it's much better if there are no winners and there are no losers. Now, it's supposed to be based upon the law, but we do have a situation where often in these boundary disputes, the end result is an effort to make sure that it will be received in a peaceful fashion.
You have argued cases at The Hague, and I want to get you to talk about this because you've represented the United States in disputes with Canada and the former Soviet Union. What are your overall impressions to the court, and what is it like to argue a case there versus maybe some of the other cases that you've argued globally in other courtrooms?
First of all, the court really would prefer not to have surprises in the oral argument. So you are supposed to submit by 8 in the morning exactly what you're going to say starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you've had a proceeding, let's say the day before for 5 or 6 hours, and you end, say, at 4 in the afternoon, you don't receive the actual, what's called procès verbal, the transcript, until maybe, let's say, midnight. And then you have from midnight until 8 in the morning to write down word for word what it is that you are going to say. So you can imagine you tend not to get very much sleep when you're in The Hague. The International Court of Justice is a mixture of various judicial systems around the world. So it is, in fact, fairly different from what you would experience in your normal, say, U.S. federal court case.
All right, Mr. Davis Robinson, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your perspective.
You're very welcome.